Just the red one. Yeah, I'll be right there. I just want to make sure that my headphones are working. Hello? Hello? You're not hearing. Something's not working. AirPods. AirPods. No, AirPods. Hello? Why, thank you, darling. Thank you, thank you. I got my little leftovers. It's okay. I'm good. Oh, there's the man. So I look around and I say, now what? We can't continue to go down this path. What you thinking about here? It's pretty. It's perfectly fine. Thank you. Yes. You want a little more cheese on top, maybe? It was almost cooked when you had it. I wasn't even going to ask you to do that. You didn't have to do that. Maybe more cheese. Wow. Thank you. This looks like fun. It's the best. Bell pepper.
Bell pepper union. Marble. Marble. AirPod in?
Yes. I have about 10 minutes, so I guess I'll be able to hear when we start. I'll be able to hear if this came on.
Well, thank you, Lord, for this beautiful dinner. Thank you for much number Elizabeth, please help Michelle get over healthy, keep her comfortable. Watch over baby Amelia. Ella, Savannah, and just Animax and all our family.
See if this is not funky. I don't know.
Beautiful.
And our best days are when we work together. That's where we need to go. You know, in the book, King Brian by Lincoln about how he invited people in his family.
It kind of it probably needed a little bit more cooking. Huh? I could have left the other ones in the oven. Is the pepper cooking up?
Yeah.
Yeah, but if the GOP has fundamentally changed under Donald Trump, and you're now Biden, do you consider yourself, I don't know, you're a man without a party? No, I'm a leader who's on the road and try to resuscitate my party. Actually, Don, the thing we never talked about, when I ran for re-election as governor of Ohio, I won 86 out of 88 counties. One of the most sweeping victories ever. I got support across the board. I believe
No one talks about that.
it should be addition, not subtraction. And I
I like him soft, he's
He does.
still thinking about the future.
does not resemble the party that I grew up in. And the efforts of the president Biden, the Lincoln founded the Republican Party of one.
Moving into the knees, to the upper legs. Letting the upper body soften and rest, placing its weight there in the upper legs and the hips. This is how the rose steadies itself. It finds its right inward measure. Breathing down and into the hips and then moving into the back. The lower, the mid, and the upper back. Contacting the shoulders, releasing them just a little bit more. And with that out breath, breathing down beneath the shoulders into the upper arms, the elbows, the forearm. Sewing ourselves into wholeness. Making contact with the wrists, the palm. Feeling the aliveness here in the hands, the vibration, the warmth, the natural curvature of the fingers. Letting this flower be itself. Feeling into the fingertips. And breathing right in through the fingertips and up the arms. Back up to the back of the neck, back of the head. The top of the head, letting the crown of the head point upward towards the sky. And then breathing in. Right in through the fontanelle, that beautiful space between the skull, right into the forehead, the eyes, the cheeks, the jaw. Touching into the brow, the bridge of the nose, the nostrils, the lips, the teeth, and the tongue. Being with oneself exactly as you are. This is the waking up to remember. From that jaw down into the throat. With each out breath, seeing if we can let go of that little bit of space we've made between ourselves and the truth of our life. Letting go of me over here and life over there. It's not true. Breathing into the body, breathing down into the chest, to the lungs. Let the breath be natural. Feel the beating of your own heart. The physical heart and vast, open, spacious heart that has room for everything. We can declutter that space with each out breath. Making room to remember who we really are. And down beyond that vast heart into the belly. And on that out breaths, as you breathe out, see if you can soften the belly. Letting all the thoughts about how things should be, could be, would be, letting it all be melted away for this arrival here to the present moment. The only place to be loving, alive, present, whole. And gathering ourselves in that wholeness. Each breath complete itself. As we dedicate this practice, offering it to the welfare and the benefit of all beings, beginning with ourselves, and then all those others just like me who need to remember and awaken too. And so the first instruction is, of course, to open to that flash of the awakened heart by remembering one moment of completeness, wholeness, one moment of kindness, of love, a moment of compassion, a moment of ease. And in that flash moment, it awakens the bodhicitta, the awakened heart mind. And we find a space, that infinite vast space, that open space. We find a place to rest our attention. And I don't suggest that you grab into the body too quickly. We've sutured it together perfectly. But now we want to rest. Interestingly, the breath is fine, but we want to make sure that it opens and expands beyond the sense of the body. We don't want to keep ourselves limited to this self-making notion of me. And we tend to grab the body as a little bit of me. So with each out breath, we're seeing if we can't release, relax, enjoy the out breath. But make sure we then move it out into that open, vast space. That space which is the nature of our own awakened heart minds. We begin to dissolve the limited notion of ourself beyond this body, beyond the limits of me, into the greater truth of the vast, open, spacious heart mind, which is my own true nature, sometimes called Buddha nature, but it could be Jesus nature, David nature, Moses nature, Mohammed nature, our true nature. And we're just going to rest in that open, expanded, available breath. Just offering ourselves some space for resting in our wholeness. And there are some additional supports we can call on, and we've been naming them throughout the last 2 weeks. And it includes things like remembering all those who have struggled, who have continued the practice throughout all time. All those who practice not only for themselves, but for us. as we now are practicing not only for ourselves, but for all those just like us who struggle, who forget. So we can call on the lineage. And there are many lineages, of course, and no one better than another. And it says we can embody then that lineage in some way, placing it in a crown of light above our heads. And in a Buddhist tradition, for example, could be one of the Buddhas. It could be someone from a tradition or lineage that you can make contact with. It could be, as sometimes happens for me, in the lineage of the Chicago Carpenters, of which Libby and I are a part. It could be a loved one, a loved grandmother, or another. It could be someone who we know cares for us. But it's that little extra support, sometimes called a guru, but it's a word that's not familiar for many of us. But we can place that picture of either one or many in this light crucible above our heads. And we can breathe that goodness in, that strength, that love, that compassion, maybe even that clear seeing. Can invite it in. And we invite it in to rest in our heart space. Sometimes pictured on a shell, a shelf. You can imagine what can work for you. But really to invite it in, that light right into us, that warmth, that spaciousness. And then we let it radiate in all directions. And we take that guru completely in, and we join it completely. So if it's Buddha, if it's grandma, if it's a beloved pet, if it's a child, it could be any number of things. We join completely. And so that our own identities, our own sense of self immediately becomes larger. I am not only this body shell. I am not only these thoughts. I am not only these particular emotions of weather. I am all that has come before and all that will be. We can just enjoy that visualization. Enjoy that radiating light. Letting it radiate throughout our own bodies, igniting, enlivening, embodying that goodness. Now, the truth is, if this is all you did, this would be plenty. These are seen as complete practices. And so if you only have a few minutes in a day and you go, you know, let's remember all that's holding me, all that's here, this would be enough. And then we continue to breathe it in. And with each in-breath, we create more space, more room, more love, more warmth. Remembering that we are more than this physical body, we are more than this present thought, we are more than any emotion or idea. And that even in this moment, this very moment right here, no matter what else we are thinking, which is often a waste of time, we can use that very wholeness, that very radiance, that very truth to the benefit of not only ourselves, but others. That no matter how we think we are, there is the capacity in this very moment to transform suffering, to use it to awaken. We can use everything on the path, and then to use it for more than my own personal release or relief. And so then we can put this to test a little bit by calling a moment of difficulty to mind. And it might be your own difficulty, it might be the difficulty of another. Just calling one to mind. I have an easy one. Since I came home and there was someone irritable and overworked and a little too depleted today. And so I'm just acknowledging, recognizing the truth of that difficulty, that suffering, that pain, that depletion. And I'm picturing it in my mind's eye as best I can, so I can see the face of the person and there's a slight frown and more quiet than usual. I can feel the truth of that suffering. And by my very willingness to acknowledge the suffering, the truth is I am already pointed in that direction. I can begin to wish that that suffering be relieved. And one of the ways we can actually invite the relief is by willingly taking that very suffering on ourselves. So rather than have it be over there where there is no real you, or over here where there is no limited me, this is the exchanging or opening of oneself for another. And so the suffering is already known. I can willingly take it in, turn towards it, breathe it in. And by that very intention, by the very wish for its relief, by my genuine care, by my non-reactivity, it's a kind of a key here. In our non-reactivity, we can literally open and embrace, which goes against the brainstem, doesn't it? And actually envelop, hold in a loving way this suffering. And we breathe it in and we let it touch our hearts where that guru radiantly sits and smiles. We can even put our hands there if that's helpful to us. Not to block it, but to hold it also. Breathe it in. And as we breathe out, we send out all those good wishes with the breath and the light. We send out the wish for rest. We send out the wish for ease. We can send out the wish for a less achy body. We can send out the wish that the person have what they need to be okay, whatever that might be. And you can actually make a statement of loving kindness as a part of that out-breath. May you be free from this distress. May you have ease and well-being. May you remember your goodness as I do. And so this taking in and sending out is the essence of the Tonglen practice. And if you're feeling yourself too depleted or exhausted, insufficiently resourced, which can happen for us easily, we can actually then begin to breathe in for ourselves right here. Can I breathe in for myself and all those just like me who are really just too tired to breathe in for anybody else? Can I breathe in the wish for relief for myself? May I remember that there are also others just like me who may feel insufficient or resistant, confused, or just not in the mood. And we can open even there instead of closing down or shutting off. We breathe in, offering relief, offering refuge to oneself, and sending it out if it's available. But I often notice for myself, I can't really let it go out first. So I just breathe it out and send it out throughout the whole body. Letting it touch every cell, every pore, every part of the body, letting it resource myself first. See how it works for you. Breathing in, acknowledging, making contact with the difficulty. And rather than having to do anything, I just acknowledge, yes, others just like me feel this distress. This is a part of the human experience. May I offer myself whatever is available, whatever is needed. A warm hug, a soft blanket, a loving touch. We can even wrap our left hand around the rib and take the right hand and wrap it around the shoulder. And we can actually offer ourselves a loving contact, loving touch. Knowing that there are many others also contributing to this hug, who love us, who care for us, who want our ease and well-being. You might rub a shoulder, you might offer a pat. For some people, just placing the hands on the face, the warm hands, holding one's face. Tara Brach talks about a kiss on the brow that had been offered to her as a child. See what you can offer yourself, what can feel nourishing, caring, loving, and compassionate. Physical touch, a phrase, or a blessing. Visualization, offering ourselves something caring. May we offer this to ourselves most wholeheartedly, without judgments, without criticisms, just a part of being human. May we offer ourselves enough that we can be there for ourselves. Enough kindness, enough forgiveness, enough compassion. Breathing it in, sending it throughout the body. Nourishing, replenishing, being friendly, caring. If there's a particular part of the body that's especially achy or pain, tense or knotted, we can actually breathe right into that area as well. Offering ourselves direct relief. And we would do this as long as needed. And it might be the whole of this practice. It might be more than one time. Maybe it's what we do all the time, beginning with ourselves, offering ourselves. Just like that flower in that jar, offering itself all the goodness, remembering its own goodness. Breathing in for oneself, breathing out for oneself. All the way to the toes and up to the top of the head. And feeling that vibration, that energy, that radiant light. May I be safe, may I be healthy. May I offer myself whatever is needed.
Absolutely, yeah.
And we continue in this way exactly as long as is needed. And I'm noticing that my energy, it's available enough that I can breathe in not only for myself, but for my beloved who was tired and a little bit weary today. And I can send out now the wish for good rest. I can send out appreciation that he knows he is loved. Maybe the reminder that he doesn't have to try quite so hard. May you have peace. May you remember your goodness. May you rest in that goodness. And just see where the breath and the attention direct you. There's no ideas about this practice. We just see how things really are. And if you notice you just don't have the energy, then stay with yourself. If you notice it just naturally makes contact not only with your difficulty, we can remember, no matter what our truth, that others feel this too. And just by breathing in for ourselves, we can remember that there are others just like us who feel this sadness, this confusion, this weariness, and we can breathe in for them too. Taking in the difficulty, sending out relief, love, whatever is needed. And if you had a particularly good thing happen today, for example, we can take in that goodness and parlay it by then offering it to others. And we train like this so that we can remember in the midst of our day, right on the spot, when something is difficult, we can breathe in not only for ourselves, but others, and send out relief. And we can also, in moments of goodness, breathe in the goodness, the wealth, the happiness, the health, and we can send that out as well. And so for the last few minutes of the practice, let's just see what's really here. Remembering that we can use everything as a part of the path. We can use everything as an opportunity to awaken. We can use everything to grow in love, compassion, and kindness. And then letting go of using the breath specifically as a conduit for taking in the difficulty and sending out the goodness, or taking in the goodness and sending it out. And just rest in the vast open space. The awakened heart mind that is so big as not to be contained by this brain and this body. Breathe out into the vast open space. And rest. May we all have happiness and the causes for happiness, which is our own awakened heart mind. May we be free from pain. May we be free from fear, from harm, from all internal and external afflictions. May we take great joy, be glad, and rejoice at our good fortune and the good fortune of others? Can we be as happy for another and their good fortune? May we rest in the great arms of wisdom and compassion, free from greed, free from hatred and ill will, free from confusion and ignorance. And may we dedicate this practice and all of its benefits to the relief and the end of suffering for all beings. May we remember that we practice not only for ourselves, but so that all beings can awaken. All beings can be free. And in this practice, we know that we have used the stay well. In our love, in our care, in our kindness, in our compassion, we have contributed. Even if it's just for one breath. And we set the intention to continue. This day is good. Let this day be done. May we rest in the merits, benefits, and the blessings of this practice today. So be it. I want to thank you all. Victor, I can see you. Thank you for being so kind and coming back to join us for the practice. I'm really grateful. I hope this practice has been of benefit to you. I know for sure that it's been a benefit to me, and also not only me, but many others. So thank you for taking the time for that this evening. I trust you will have a better evening as a result of this practice. If you've got several more hours, as I know, for example, that Victor does, see if we can continue to use the medium of the breath in whatever way is then actually available. So using the breath, maybe just making contact with what we were grateful for today and breathing that in, letting it nourish us, and then sending it out. Sometimes late in the evening, it's not a good time to really be turning towards suffering or difficulty, unless it's just here and already in us. And then, of course, we can use even that too, by remembering that not only ourselves, but others, just like us, know this, feel this, and that by that very willingness, we are contributing to their relief as well. So thank you all so much for practicing with me this evening. Our next practice will be Saturday. Oh, tomorrow, excuse me. Today's Monday night. Tomorrow morning at 7, we'll be going over these trainings using the Lojong slogans some more, little pith instructions and reminders to use throughout the day, every day, and reciting them. So we're going to use those as well as the Tonglen practice still. We'll be with that for a while. So thank you all so much. Blessings. So good to see you all. I appreciate each of you. Thank you so much. Victor, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your working day. Be well.
Yeah.
Yeah, good.
Thank you.
You're so welcome. Know that we're there with you. So blessings, everyone. Have a restful evening, except for Victor, who's got many hours of work. So breathe a little extra energy over to him. I'm sure he'll appreciate it too. I'll look forward to seeing those who can be with me tomorrow and the rest of the Sangha. If not, hopefully get to see you on Saturday. Be well, everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you.